Okay, so this next layout, I'm going to actually use Book Fair. The cut file is, of course, these pens and pencils, so I thought that would be perfect for a school layout. So I might color these. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm going to pull in some Simple Stories Book Fair. And then, actually, I don't think this is Book Fair. I think this is Echo Park. So Simple Stories Book Fair. And then I've got a bunch of the ephemera here, so I'm not sure what all I'm going to get worked in here, but do something school related. So I've got quite a few different pieces I can get worked in here. So, all right. So first things first, start to figure out my paper. And I don't have a picture yet. So kind of what I was thinking with this, because I remember seeing paper in here that had a bunch of pencils like this. I was thinking maybe fussy cutting this out and layering it up behind this maybe somehow. Because I might go ahead and back each one of these and then kind of have the pencils kind of peeking up from behind it like that is kind of what I was thinking. So so I would need to back all this stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start backing my cut files. I use yellow, blue, green. I don't know, I do use red. So I kind of try to pull in colors that would be similar to the colors that were on the Book Fair papers. So I had this like little tiny stacks. It was a matte stack, and it was die cuts with a view. And I'm not sure, I don't know if it came in like a in a warehouse box, or if maybe it was like I don't know, freebie or something. So anyways, so that's what I used those squares to back my cut file, just because I don't want to like pull in paper from Book Fair and kind of waste it just backing these cut files. So it's kind of a tedious process. I feel like backing cut files always usually to an extent is. I know like a lot of people will do settings in their silhouettes or in their Cricuts where it'll, they'll like offset it and then have it cut out. So then that way you can insert the pieces, sometimes pop them up and things like that. I haven't really done that. I need to try it. I don't know that it would have really worked well with this die cut, just because of like the little lines and stuff in some of the pens and things like that. So of course I decided I was going to go with a school theme layout, and that's why I picked Book Fair from Simple Stories. I really honestly haven't used a lot of Book Fair yet, so and then I end up pulling out my 49 and Market colors, and this one is called Pink Sands, and so I end up using it to back the wood part of the pencil, just because I didn't have like a piece of paper that would kind of match that. I guess I could have tried to find like a wood grain paper to back it with, but I just decided since I was doing solid colors with all this, that's what I was going to do. And off screen, I had gone ahead and fussy cut out all the paper that I used to back the cut file with, because it's a little bit of a tedious process to do that. So maybe it was salted caramel I used. I think it was salted caramel. And then I'm going to start taking in the different 49 and Market colors. So the first one I used was a red color, and it is, let me see if I can find it here on my desk. It is Strawberry Pie, And then, so I do that around the red. I just kept light colors with like colors. So I end up pulling in this blue, which is called Summer Sky. The yellow is called Daffodil. And so that's what I use on the pencils. And then this is called Off the Rails. And it's kind of like a grayish, almost, I wouldn't say a black, although you could probably layer it enough to where it would look pretty dark, almost like black. So that's what I'm going to use on this pen that I had backed in black. And I also use it on the kind of like the ink pen over on the right hand side as well. And I don't sit here and make you watch all of the whole entire painting just because that's a lot to watch. And then I end up pulling in green jeans or green jean. And then this is called Fossil. So that's what I use to paint the tip of the pen or the pencils. I had actually considered taking pencil and coloring on the pencil, you know, with the pencil, and then kind of putting some kind of a finisher or a matte over it, because obviously with the pencil it would eventually kind of rub off. But then I just decided I would just paint it just for ease. I pull out the pink sands, and that's what I initially was going to go around kind of like the wood piece of the of where the pencil tip is, but it kind of was a little too pinky, so I do end up using it for the eraser part. And then I think I end up mixing, oh, I pull in, it's cappuccino, I believe. Yeah, cappuccino. No, I don't pull in cappuccino. Salted caramel is what I use to go around the pencil tip. The silver part, I had used, I think, a mix of Off the Rails and Fossil and mix those together. So essentially what I was thinking about doing was backing the pens and that with these pencils, kind of fussy cutting the pencils out. But then I kind of felt like you kind of lost all the pencils in the background to the cut file. So then I thought, well, maybe I'll split and use this as like kind of a shelf. But then I just kind of thought that it looked a little off. I did end up cutting off the pencil scribble just because it was kind of hanging down over the pencils, because initially that's what I thought I was going to do. And then I just decided I did not like how it looked. So I'm still going through the paper. This paper has caught my eye since I've got the collection. And so I put the cut file over here and I'm like, well, that really like is pretty eye-catching. And I wasn't sure if I would put pictures below it, but I kind of felt like putting it facing down. I had considered it having it turned the other way so that the pencils would be kind of on the left-hand side. But I kind of was going with kind of that shelf idea still. And so I'm going to start pulling in some of the ephemera pieces. Just some floral clusters, and these had like little pencils in it, which was really cute. I do end up switching out the cluster on the top for a smaller cluster. I hadn't colored the line of the cut file because I wasn't sure what I was going to do yet. I was thinking about coloring it red to go with that red line, but I was like, let me kind of figure out what exactly I'm going to do here first with this, and we'll kind of figure it out. And I did forget to say that when I was painting all those pieces, I was essentially using my ink pads as watercolor. So what I was doing was I was taking a plastic piece of just packing that like some of my kits had come in, or my collections had come in, and then dabbing the ink pad on top of that and then spraying it with water. So essentially kind of almost using it as a watercolor. I want it back to school to be my title, but it's kind of small. And so I thought like to put a cluster or something up here to kind of make it my third cluster a little bit. But I wasn't really liking anything I was putting up there. I like this school. I really consider putting it up there with the back to school, but I kind of like it better in this cluster at the bottom left. And then because I had been wanting to work in some more of these pencils from the collection, I decided to pull in this, split it in half, and then build up the back to school on top of that. And I thought that looked pretty cute. I did consider tucking them in back here, which also looked cute, but then I was like, you know, then what am I going to do with the back to school part? So I decided to go back to that. And so the pictures I'm documenting are the couple pictures of my oldest son on his first day of first grade. That's how far back, like I have so many photos from like a long time ago to do because I had fallen out of scrapbooking for about 9 years since he was born. And then I think I scrapbooked, I don't know, maybe a couple layouts kind of when my second son was born, and then had fallen back out of it again because, you know, just busy with kids and things like, and work and things like that. So, and then I finally, really within the past year and a half to I guess almost 2 years, got back into scrapbooking. I'd say 2 years now. I had scrapbooks since like 2000s, late 90s, 2000s, and then had like a very long hiatus. So I've got a lot of stuff I have to catch up on. So I decided to remedy the border with the white part of the cut file by taking this scalloped sticker, and that was part of the cardstock sticker set. And I really wanted something down on this right hand corner. I didn't want to like overload the paper. I have a tendency to sometimes maybe add too many clusters, but so I wanted something simple over here just to kind of like not make it look like this part of the page was kind of forgotten. So I try to pull in a couple pieces, the banner. I try to pull in some journaling tags, and then I found this You're Great ribbon, and that was I think in the big bits, and thought that it would look really good there, that it wasn't like a huge, you know, like it wasn't like a whole nother cluster. And I decided to move it up so it looked like it was part of this cluster up here, but still hanging down, so it took up some of that empty space down there. I also pulled in this apple with a worm in it. I think that was part of the page pieces. These are little pencil shavings here, so I kind of thought that was kind of cute. I was going to put each one of those in each cluster. Really, I guess technically I have 3 clusters, even though the top, I treat it as more my title than anything else, but I really like this first day piece, and so but I didn't want it to look too boxy over there because I had the 5+8, then the notepad, so I decided to remove the notebook, or the journaling notepad. Decided to stick a marker up here just to kind of add a little more dimension up there at the top. And then I'm going to start getting everything glued down. I do pop up the apple here on some foam. And then I've gotten all this up here, pretty much adhered down. I add this little owl on a stack of books that was part of the cardstock sticker set. And then I do get the banner popped up on some foam. So again, this is for 31 Days of Cutfiles. This is technically day number 18. I'll include the information down below. And the cut file was purchased from Some Assemblage Required. So this is put on by Some Assemblage Required. So Janet and MK created these cut files, and then you could purchase them and play along. And so far it's been great, like looking at some of the things that people have come up with, just creative ways to use cut files. So it's been a lot of fun to play along and get inspiration from other people. They do have a Facebook group as well. I should include that link down below. I think I've just been including the link to purchase the cut file if you want to. So I'll include the Facebook group link down below. And then if you want to join in. I don't know how often they do the 31 Days of Cut Files, if it's just a yearly thing and they do it maybe around this time. I don't know. Because I just jumped on like kind of social media and doing more of these challenges, so I'm kind of not hip to all of that. I include a little banner piece up here underneath the title just because I kind of felt like it needed a little extra something up there. And so here are a few close-up shots. I really appreciate you coming by to watch another process video, and I'll see you again next time.